Let us for a few moments concentrate on the divine form of Sri Ramakrishna and pray for the welfare of the whole humanity. Om Stapakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Stapakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Avadar Varishtaya Ramakrishna Te Nama Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Mritangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us bow down to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. In the last class, we were discussing about cleansing of the mind. The whole purpose of religion is how do you cleanse your mind so that you can go without any obstruction towards God. So, cleansing of mind is most important, and one has to give utmost importance for cleansing the mind. There are many methods of cleansing the mind. In Jnana Yoga, the path of knowledge, how the mind is cleansed, it is done by discriminating about the system in which we are living. Each one has got 5 veils that enshroud the Atman. The Atman is the consciousness, the light in every one being, in every one. So, we have to experience that. We have to get into that divine light, which is Atman, the spirit, whatever name you may give, that is the truth. So, how to go towards Atman? That's the question. Now, if you take the example of a human form, whether man or woman, 5 sheets are there covering the Atman. The first one is gross body, which is dependent on external food. We take food every day and nourish the body. And this body is the sheath. And you have to convince yourself that you are not the body. You are living in the body. Body is separate. You are separate. That means the Atman is encased in the body. So, when you sit for concentration and meditation, you should feel that you are not this body, so that you must divert your mind to the reality, not to be bothered about the body. That is, you should not be conscious of the body when you are thinking about the reality. The next sheath is Pranamaya Kosha, that is the vital sheath. We are able to live in this body because of our constant breathing, and the air that is inhaled inside, it functions in different ways. It is used to remove all the impurities of the body. It is used to vitalize, to strengthen the function of the organs. In so many ways, the air that we inhale works in our system. If a person breathes properly, definitely he can live very comfortably and joyfully. So that means this vital sheath is also a casing. After you withdraw from the external body sheath, you come face to face with the vital sheath. But that also you have to transcend, because you are not the air you are inhaling. You are taking in so that it to function in the body. So you must convince yourself you are not that vital sheath. So you are neither the body nor the vital sheath. The next comes mind. That's also a sheath. Manomaya kosha. Kosha means sheath or veil. And mind plays in its own way. It is in different types of moods, and it acts in a very active way. Many times you say your mind is not keeping well, and you are not well because the mind is in a disturbance, its disturbing state. So that means you have to convince yourself you are not the mind. Then what? When you transcend the mind also, the next sheath is intellectual sheath, where you have the discriminating faculty to decide what is what. When you try to tear this veil also, then comes the Anandamaya Kosha, the thin screen of bliss. Thin screen. The grossest screen is body. The most thin screen is the sheath of bliss. But that also has to be transcended. Then you have that experience of the divine light. Once you come towards the light, that means you are able to purify yourself to the extent you are able to come towards the light. In that process, what has happened? The whole system has been purified. The mind is in perfect condition. It is like dustless mirror. Then it would reflect the bliss of Atman. That is the path of knowledge. But one has to be steady, one has to be constantly discriminating between what is real and what is unreal. And one should constantly reject what is unreal and hold on to what is real. It's a path by itself. Then comes the path of meditation, which also is one of the paths leading to the divine light or God, whatever name you call, whether personal God or impersonal God. So Dhyana Yoga, the path of meditation, is also one of the important ways. Of course, this is very clearly described by Patanjali in Raja Yoga. There are 8 steps. You have to ascend step by step. So the first step they mention that you should maintain the purity level, external purity as well as internal purity. External purity is achieved by taking bath, by changing the clothes, by looking fresh. The internal purity is cleaning the mind so that mind can concentrate upon the one single spiritual idea and not harboring any ill feeling, not hating anyone, following all the noble qualities which are required. In that way, you can maintain the purity of the mind. So, you have to be well established in that character. If you want to have the result in spiritual life, you have to be thoroughly purified, externally, internally. Then you immensely feel the mood to meditate upon God. Then you have to have a fixed posture where you can sit erect and would be able to focus on God. Then comes breath control, that is inhalation and exhalation, pranayama we call. It is suggested simple pranayama, that is in order to keep rhythmic breathing. Simple pranayama one should do so that you can breathe comfortably in a very rhythmic way, so that the thoughts also reorganized in a proper way. Then comes the another step, that is the nature of the mind is, once you try to fix the mind on a particular thought, after a while it runs away. Suddenly it goes away somewhere. So immediately you must bring it back. What I am doing? My mind is running away. My mind is thinking something else. So immediately you have to bring it back. If you are watchful about the mind, then after a while the mind stops wandering and you will be able to fix the mind. So you have to be well established in not allowing the mind to run away to other things. You have to command your mind, well, I am sitting here to do meditation, now I must think of God, I don't want to think anything else. So you must be very firm in your resolve, you must be very determined, and then you must take control of the mind. Then it would be possible to fix the mind, to focus the mind. So once you are established in focusing the mind properly, following all other disciplines which I just now said, the next step would be concentration. So concentration is possible only when you are able to focus the mind for a while on the object of meditation without any cross interference. That means at that point of time, your whole being is focused on the object of meditation. It is focused on the divine light or divine form of God, and you are not thinking of anything else. When you are able to sit that way for a particular period of time, it's called concentration. And then next step comes. When you are well established in concentration, it leads to meditation. That means you are, because of the power of concentration, you are able to visualize the form, the divine form on which you are concentrating upon, and then you would be able to absorb yourself totally in that divine form. You don't want to distract yourself. You don't want anything else but to be with God. So you are very joyful in that state. So that means when you are meditating upon, you are not only visualizing the divine form, but the divine idea, the spiritual idea which led you towards God, that is maintained continuously. You are constantly having that spiritual idea in the mind and visualizing God. So that is called meditation. Uninterrupted flow of thought on God. Once that is done, when you are well established in meditation, then it leads to final step. The final step is samadhi. Samadhi means total absorption in God, enjoying the immense bliss, immense joy. Once you reach that state of samadhi, you have achieved the goal. Then everything is revealed. There is nothing more for you to realize. You have got everything and you are fully satisfied. You are fully satisfied and you have known everything. When you reach that state, you are enjoying the state of immortality. You are not to come back and forth again and again, because coming this back and forth into this world means you are coming back and forth because you want to enjoy the world. Because mind is diverted and you want this to be done, you want that to be done. So keep on multiplying the desires. The more the desires, the more births you have to take. That means the desires lead you to perform chain of action, and the action catches you and it makes you revolve. So you are just caught in the wheel of action. So you will be simply circling round and round. So as long as you are under the wheel of action, you will not be having real peace or joy. So that is the meditation. These are the 8 steps which Raja Yoga tells. Whatever path you may choose, cleansing the mind pure somehow or other is very important, and this we must strive for with longing. That intense desire to be there, should be there. I must realize the truth in this very life. Time is running away. I am not able to do anything. So you must become restless. Just as people become restless for getting job, for getting things of the world. If you divert that restlessness towards acquiring God, towards obtaining God, you will get God. So once you establish yourself in purity, that purity generates strength, purity reflects wisdom, purity confers all the blessings. Through a pure mind, you will attain knowledge and you will get real spiritual awakening. Once you are spiritually awakened, you are always peaceful. So that concludes my topic which I was discussing in the last class, cleansing of the mind. Today I will take up another topic which is also very important for us to know. We need to know certain things in order to practice spirituality. Knowing is important. You are trying to know in order to practice it. It is not simply an academic interest. It is with practical interest you are trying to know. It is not for simply intellectual understanding. It is for practical application. You are understanding many things essential for spiritual life. Now, because we are all in one way or other engaged in action, which is called karma. Karma means action. No one in this world is without action. Everyone does action. But then action binds you if you do it in one way. It gives you freedom if you do it in another way. So I am just trying to take up this very interesting topic of karma yoga. That means how you are able to attain God through action. Sri Ramakrishna said in the Gospel, union with God through work is called karma yoga. Karma means action, the action which leads you towards getting you the vision of God is called karma yoga. Now, it is not very easy because karma generally binds you. But what type of karma that takes you towards God? It is the karma when you do it without attachment, then it leads you towards God. So, the aim of karma yoga is to fix one's mind on God by means of work. If a person performs worship, japa, and other forms of devotion, surrendering the result to God, it is called the practice of karma yoga. Anything you associate with God transforms itself into yoga. So connecting the action with God is important. So attachment of God alone is the aim of karma yoga. Work without any selfish motive is good. It doesn't create any worry. But it is very difficult to be totally unselfish. We may think that our work is selfless, but selfishness comes unknown to us from no one knows where. But if a person has already undergone great spiritual discipline, then as a result of it, he may be able to do work without any selfish motive. So that's why we keep telling the people to engage yourself in selfless activity. By doing yourself selfless activity, gradually you will develop that quality of selflessness. In another place, Sri Ramakrishna says, work is necessary. It will not do to say that God exists and then idle away your time. You must reach God somehow or other. Call on Him in solitude and pray to Him, O Lord, reveal Thyself to me. You have to address God. You have to weep for Him with longing heart. But generally what people do, they roam about in search of lust and gold. They are just enamored of the things of the world. They want to involve too much in the pleasures of the world. They become literally mad because they are not able to satisfy their enjoyments. They keep on doing it more and more vigorously. So, in that process, you are going far away from God. So, Sri Ramakrishna tells you, if you can become mad for the things of the world, why not you become mad for God? Let people say, oh, this man has lost his head for God. One has to undergo spiritual practices. He must try to attend some retreats to maintain spiritual fervor. What will you achieve by simply saying that God exists and doing nothing about it? And Sri Ramakrishna gives the example, there are big fish in the lake, but can you catch them by merely sitting idly on the bank? You must prepare some spiced bait and then throw it into the lake. Then the fish will come from the deep water and you will see ripples that will make you happy. Perhaps a fish will jump with a splash and you will get a glimpse of it. Then you will be so glad. So, a man must work with a longing for God in his heart. If he has longing, he will receive the grace of God. Now, this is the introduction to my topic of today's class, that is 3 ways of Karma Yoga. 3 ways. Karma Yoga, when you say yoga, it means discipline. So Karma Yoga, discipline of karma. There are 3 kinds. One is work for work's sake. The second kind is work as worship. The third variety, work with detachment. So these are the 3 ways of Karma Yoga. So you have to know these things so that you can perform the yoga properly. These will serve as aphorisms of the central element in each approach. Now first we shall consider what is this work for work's sake. We have heard that word. In Karma Yoga, Swami Vivekananda describes this work for work's sake. So doing work for work's sake is one way of Karma Yoga. That means work done not for ego gratification, not for the sake of doing some welfare work for others, but simply for its own sake and for the bliss and freedom that derive from motiveless action. That is called work for work's sake. The constant goal and immediate incentive of the aspirant is to escape from the bondage of desire. Because it is desire that is causing all sorts of sufferings. It comes in the way of pleasure, but then it ends up in some kind of suffering. So it is freedom of the soul from the vicious circle of karma. Karma which takes you away from God. So the fundamental practice of an aspirant is the eradication of selfish desire by the power of will and the exercise of concentration on the work at hand. So the main stress in this way, work for work's sake, is willpower and the use of concentration. You are just relying upon that. The primary motivation for all human activity is desire. And yet it is a tragedy of human life that work done under the compulsion of desire generates suffering. So it is not only in the consequences of such work that the suffering lies, but in the selfish action itself. The word desire signifies a condition of want, tension, emptiness and longing for fulfillment. Once the desire comes to your mind, you are not calm until it is done. You feel kind of botheration and you feel restless. Your whole mind is occupied by that because you want it to be done and you are prepared to undergo any difficulties on the way. As the number and the intensity of desires increase, what will happen? One's happiness decreases in direct proportion. Ordinarily, people believe that peace and fulfillment come through the satisfaction of desires, but this can never be. Because desires are endless. The passions are not satisfied by gratification, but only increase the more, like a fire which burns brighter when ghee is poured upon it. So the karma yogi recognizes that selfish desire creates suffering and can never be alleviated by enjoyment. So he resolves to give up that type of action once and for all. So work for work's sake refers to those activities done without desire for the results. How does one go about doing such work? What's the method of practice? The first injunction is avoid situations which create, awaken or foster the growth of selfish wants. We have to constantly avoid being motivated by personal inclination, desire or passion. All this requires an effort of will. So, that a very important point, how you strengthen your will and use it in the perform of action without desire. Let us continue this in the next class. Page 616. Ishan was seated touching Sri Ramakrishna's feet and listening to his words. Now and then he cast a glance at the basalt image of Kali in the shrine. In the light of the lamp she appeared to be smiling. It was as if the living deity manifesting herself through the image was delighted to hear the Master's words, holy as the words of the Vedas. Ishan, pointing to the image, he said, those words from your sacred lips have really come from there. He is pointing out to Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna said, I am the machine and she is the operator. I am the house and she is the indweller. I am the chariot and she is the charioteer. I move as she moves me. I speak as she speaks through me. In the Kali Yuga, one does not hear the voice of God, it is said, except through the mouth of a child or a madman or some such person. A man cannot be a guru. Everything happens by the will of God. Heinous sins, the sins of many births and accumulated ignorance all disappear in the twinkling of an eye through the grace of God. When light enters a room that has been kept dark 1,000 years, does it remove the 1,000 years darkness little by little or instantly? Of course, at the mere touch of light, all the darkness disappears. What can a man do? He may speak many words, but after all is said and done, everything rests with God. The lawyer says, I have said all that can be said, now the verdict rests with the judge. Brahman is actionless. When it is engaged in creation, preservation and dissolution, it is called the primal power, Adya Shakti. This power must be propitiated. Don't you know that it is so written in the Chandi? It's a spiritual text. The gods first sang a hymn to the Adya Shakti in order to propitiate her. Only then did Hari wake up from his yoga sleep. Ishan said, yes sir, Brahma and the other gods sang this hymn at the time of the death of the demons Madhu and Kaitaba. Swaha, Vashat and Swadha art thou. Thou the inner self of the mantra. Thou the nectar of immortality. O everlasting one, eternal and unutterable art thou. And yet thou art manifest in the 3 matras and the half matra. O goddess, thou art Savitri, thou art the ultimate mother. All things have their support in thee, by whom this universe was made. O goddess, thou sustainest all, and all by thee is devoured. Thou it is that we call the Creator, when thou createst the world, O embodiment of creation. Thou it is that we call the Preserver, when thou preservest it. Thou it is that we call the Destroyer, when thou destroyest it. Master said, yes, but you must assimilate that. The Master rose. He mounted the platform in front of the shrine and saluted the mother, touching the ground with his forehead. The devotees quickly gathered around him and fell at his feet. They all begged his grace. He descended from the platform and started towards his room, conversing with Yam. We shall stop here. Whatever yoga one may practice, one should do it steadily, willingly. It is possible to practice any yoga provided you have set the mind in that direction. Setting the mind is important. So one has to take several steps to see that the mind is set on some spiritual practice. Whatever practice you may follow, it's all right. But you have to practice it. You have to do it, that's all. So coming to Sri Ramakrishna, you understand spirituality in practicality, not simply for talking, to be practiced. Do something and see the effect of that. That's the beauty of spiritual life. And we shall stop. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust, raging furiously within. O name, stream down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its curve to knowledge of thyself, O self, drowned deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing in His name, that bath for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord, in each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a bed of grass. Be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and Soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy, consider him as dust beneath thy feet. Oh, how I long for that day when an instant separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, and my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou who stealest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous attain tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bonds, may the freed make others free. May good betide all people, may the sovereign righteously rule the earth, may all beings ever attain what is good, may the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time, may the earth be blessed with crops, may all countries be freed from calamity, may holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.